Hi, welcome to my Utopia. I'm Mara. Today I'm going to be talking about the three most common types of weight loss surgery, their pros and cons, and how you can get ready to have a successful weight loss surgery. First of all, I am going to start with the RNY or Roux-en-Y or bypass, as it is commonly known. With this surgery, first we have to assume I've taken some artistic license here. So this is the esophagus, this is your stomach, these are your large intestines, and these are small intestines. Obviously the small intestines do not look like that, and this is probably a little bit out of size reality, but it'll make it easier for you to see. So with the bypass, the doctor will come and will do if they do laparoscopic surgery, you'll have between it's about 5 incisions, about ½ an inch to an inch in length in your belly. And what they do is they take your stomach and they create a pouch, leaving the rest of your stomach intact. How they'll do that, I've seen double lines of staples here. I've seen them use a gastric band or basically a lap band to do this. And I've also seen where they will cut your stomach free and separate it, but it will remain having blood flow and everything. So over here is your duodenal or duodenal, and this leads normally down to your small intestines. But when they create the pouch, what they'll do is they will reroute part of your small intestines up to your new pouch, therefore bypassing the majority of your stomach and a portion of your small intestines. So you will eat less food, and your body will absorb less nutrients as well, because the nutrients are initially absorbed and broken down in your small intestines, and by bypassing part of that, you will now get less of that in your body. So this is considered a malabsorptive and restrictive surgery. Let me list some of the positives of this. This is reversible. They can go back in and surgically put your stomach back together and create the big stomach. They can take your small intestines and put them back down where they're supposed to be. This has, of the 3 surgeries, the RNY, the sleeve, and the lap band, this has the highest weight loss. So, for example, if you were a 300-pound woman who was 5'4", you could expect to lose 124 pounds with the RNY. There's a calculator that I will link in the description where you can put your weight, your height, and your gender, and it will help you figure out how much you will lose. The RNY has been around for the most of the 3 surgeries, so it has the most long-term studies that have been done about it. The negatives, you can get stomach obstructions, which is if you have eaten too large, swallowed too large of a bite, then it can get stuck. You can get small bowel obstructions because that food, if it gets stuck in your stomach, can then get stuck in your small bowels. You can have leaking along the staple line here, or the staple line here, or this, or your staple lines. There might be another staple line down here. Dumping syndrome, which is to say, if you eat something that's too fatty or too sugary within a small amount of time, usually less than maybe say 15 minutes, you will either throw up or you will have extreme diarrhea because your body wants that food out of it as quickly as possible because it doesn't feel good. Neither of these is very pleasant, but it can be dealt with, and this would be something that you would learn over time, what you can and cannot eat to have that, so you don't have dumping syndrome. You can get hernias along the incision. You can, your pouch can expand, it gets larger here, and that could necessitate having more surgeries. I've seen a lot of cases on the online groups and support groups in person where the people have changed from the R&Y to the sleeve because they've already had the R&Y basically twice, and then their pouch is still expanding. Okay, so that's the R&Y, and hopefully that will make some sense to you. Obviously, shoulders. Okay, so we'll move on to the sleeve. So for each of these surgeries, I'm going to list the positive and negative for each type, and then I'm going to go over the positives that are across the board for all of the surgeries, and the negatives that are across the board for all of the surgeries. So for the next one, it's sleeve, also known as a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, VSG for short, sleeve, I think I said that, but okay, so once again, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, large intestines, this goes down to your colon, and small intestines. Okay, so with this surgery, your surgeon will come in and remove between 75 and 90% of your stomach. So your stomach will now look like this, i.e. why it is called a sleeve, because it looks like a sleeve on a jacket. That's why I think it is anyway. It's probably some medical reason for it. Your doctor, the surgeon decides how much of your stomach to lose. That's why the range is so great. All right, the positive side effects are less side effects than the R&Y. No hernias. I mean, this is all general, right? Some things could happen to anybody, and there's no way to know. There's no way to say 100%, but here's what the statistics and my experience personally and experience in groups are. Okay, less side effects than the R&Y. The weight loss, once again, if you're a 5'4" woman weighing 300 pounds, you could expect to lose 106 pounds. You could lose less, you could lose more. That's just an average. There are no foreign objects added to your body like there are with lap band. And you do not rearrange your organs. You can see that your small intestines are still in the same place, and everything, your stomach is just much smaller. The negatives for the sleeve are, it is not reversible except for in extreme cases. In theory, you could have a stomach transplant. Okay, you can get strictures, that is scarring along the staple line here as you heal, so it narrows the sleeve going in. So you would have to probably have more surgery. You can have internal bleeding and leaking. Also on the R&Y, you can have internal leaking and bleeding. You can still have dumping syndrome with this, though it is significantly less than with the R&Y. Personally, this is the surgery that I had. I've had dumping 2 times in 11 weeks, and both those times were times that I ate and drank at the same time, which I'm not supposed to do, and I know that. But one day, 2 days actually, I wanted to have coffee with my breakfast, and I really didn't want to wait till my coffee was cold. So I had dumping, which is I just threw up. Simple as that. It was easy enough. Okay. With the sleeve, you also have a much increased risk of getting acid reflux, heartburn, and more serious heartburn. So those are the positive and negatives for the sleeve. And the last one that I'm going to review is the lap band. Okay. Esophagus, stomach, duodenum, large intestine, small intestines. Nothing's wrong with these small intestines. My marker ran out of color, and I had already done the rest of it, colored the rest of it, so I didn't want to start over. Anyway, completely healthy. No problem there. Okay, so what with this one is, you'll, once again, laparoscopically done, few small holes. What the doctor will do is go in and put a band, a silicone, medical grade silicone band around your stomach, creating a smaller pouch. This one and the R&Y, the pouch can be anywhere between I think it's like 1 to like maybe 2 ounces of stomach that is available up here. This is called a restrictive surgery. The sleeve is also considered a restrictive surgery because it does not cause you to necessarily malabsorb any food or vitamins or minerals, but it just causes you to be able to take in less food. So once they have the band in, they will hook up a little tube, which will connect to a port, which will be all under your skin, and the port will be somewhere in your belly, up against your skin. And they will come in and inject silicone into this port, which will go up the tube and go into the band, and which will fill it or take the fluid out. So it'll increase the pressure, so it'll make a smaller pouch or make a larger pouch, depending on how much fluid's in there. Okay, so the positives for the band. This is completely reversible. And at any time, though usually in conjunction with another surgery, you can ask for your band to be completely unfilled, and they could still leave it in your body. Okay, so your weight loss for this, if you're a 5'4" woman at 300 pounds, is expected to be 89 pounds. So it is the least weight that you will lose. And once again, these are just averages. Okay. This can easily be adjusted to the level of restriction that works best for you. As I said, the fluid, the saline that they put in here will go through and it will make it tighter or make it looser, depending on how much, because the doctor is going to want to keep on track on top of what you're eating and how much you're eating and everything. Okay, the negatives for this. It takes multiple times to get the correct fill level. Sometimes weekly injections through your skin into the port. I hear this hurts. Just a little bit, like a needle, obviously, going through your skin. It is a foreign object that is inserted into your body. So if you have any issues with plastics, silicone, things like that, this may not be the best option for you. Here's some of the things that I have heard from support group members. The band can actually erode into your stomach, causing pain, discomfort, and for the band to have to be taken out. Generally, I've seen people then have a revision, as it's called, into another kind of surgery. Food can get trapped because of the tightness. Food can get trapped between here and there. Obviously, this isn't exactly how it would look, but this gives you an idea. The band would probably be significantly tighter. The opening might be the size of a dime, perhaps. The band can slip. It can slide up into your esophagus, up towards your esophagus. And at that point, it would be so loose that it can flip over. So they would have to go in and do a surgery to remove it and either replace the band, remove the band completely, or revise it into another surgery, depending on your choice. Okay, so those are the positive and negatives of the 3 surgeries. There are potentially more, and I'm going to go over the positives and negatives that apply to all of the surgeries now. And I have this written up here, so I'm going to be reading it, and I'm going to flip it over because it's a lot of stuff. I couldn't remember it all. All right. The positives for all of these surgeries. They can lower your blood pressure. You can get off of, I've gotten off of all my blood pressure medicines. They can reverse type 2 diabetes, and you can get off of insulin and other medications. Because you're losing weight, You will lower your back pain, and joint pain is now reduced. It can completely reverse obstructive sleep apnea. These things are all because of losing weight, not because of the surgery. It's just a side effect of the surgery. A positive for a lot of people would be buying new clothes. You can start buying clothes anywhere you want to buy clothes, or you'll have a lot more options. You can develop, one of the positives that I think is that you will have time to develop hobbies that will take your mind off of food and will replace all that time that you spent thinking about food or preparing food or planning meals or thinking about what you're going to eat when you go out. You're going to have extra energy. You're going to be more comfortable in chairs, rides, and amusement parks and airplanes and things like that. You're going to have a longer life expectancy. There's going to be a reduction in asthma attacks based upon weight. I believe it's weight that's pushing on your chest because of the fat. Improved liver function, improved cardiovascular health, less reliance on medications, improved gut health, improved confidence, and very important, I think, for a lot of women, you can still have children even after you have any of these weight loss surgeries. Obviously, that would be something you would talk to your obstetrician about or gynecologist about, because there are some things that you might have to do slightly differently. More vitamins, or I'm not really sure. But anyway, you can still have kids. All right. Here are the negatives that apply to all three of the surgeries. Pain. You will have pain at the beginning, right after you've had surgery. That's to be expected. Each of the surgeries is going to have a different level of pain, and each person is going to have a different level of pain. So maybe you're just going to be able to deal with it on Tylenol, or maybe you have to have pain meds. The pain, they tell you, will go away shortly, but it can also last for weeks, maybe months. And while you're not supposed to have pain, sometimes there's pain that has no obvious reason for it. And if you do have that sort of pain, you should contact your surgeon, because it might be something more serious, like leaking along the staple lines or different things that have gone wrong. Okay. Another negative is depression. Almost everyone who loses weight will have some level of depression. Now, this is caused because generally there's one of the reasons is because hormones are stored in fat cells, and as you lose weight, your hormones will be released back into your blood system, and the hormones that you experienced when you made those fat cells will come back. So if you were depressed or you were angry or whatever, you will get those hormones back. You will get those hormones back, the chemicals of those hormones. There is an increased risk of self-harm after weight loss surgery due to the depression, which can last for months. It is, of course, recommended that you see a psychiatrist before. I mean, most insurances, you have to see a psychiatrist. But it is also recommended that you have a psychiatrist afterwards, because you're going to be going through a lot of stuff that you may not realize now. Your self-worth is going to change. I'll go on. You'll see some other things that you might think, well, I might need to talk to somebody about this. You can have, and most people do have, hair loss or hair thinning. This happens within the first 6 months, generally, of surgery, and most people completely recover from it. Their hair comes back. This is either caused by the anesthesia or protein or just the shock of your body having major surgery. You can have muscle weakness because you're having restrictive protein. Now, this will be within the first couple of months because you're not allowed to do much physically because you're still healing. Your incisions, for all of them, take a little while to heal. You're not supposed to lift very much. You're not supposed to do very much. You're not supposed to definitely work out at the gym and things like that, at least weight-wise. So, here's one of the things that might lead to depression. You will notice that you will have changes in your relationships with people in your life. Unless you start to think about it now, you may not realize how much our relationships with other people rely on food events. Someone invites you over to their house for dinner. Someone invites you to go to a picnic. You want to go out on a dinner date. You're depressed, and so your mom makes you a chocolate cake. There's a variety of things. This will change your relationship with people. This will also change your relationship in non-food ways. Once you start losing weight, and let's say you have some heavy friends, or even friends that think they're heavy, even if you wouldn't consider them heavy, a lot of people will look at you and think, oh, well, they think they're better than me because they had the surgery. And they will start to get down on you because of that and be nasty to you. And a lot of people have experienced this, and a lot of people have lost people that they considered friends because of having weight loss surgery. This and none of the other negative reasons are a reason not to have the weight loss surgery. It's just something to be aware of. Okay, one of the other negatives is that you will be dehydrated a lot because you have to drink a lot of fluids, and your stomach is very small no matter which of the surgeries you've had. And you have to drink all the time. You have to remember every time you leave the house to take a bottle of water or a bottle of your favorite tea or whatever with you, because you're going to get thirsty. And even if you don't really feel that thirsty, you should be sipping water all the time. Dental problems is another negative side effect, because you're going to be eating less foods that have the vitamins and minerals in it that our body needs to exist. You're going to have to be taking vitamins and other supplements every day for the rest of your life. 8 maybe vitamins and supplements. It depends on what they need to take. Your regular vitamins contain a lot of things, but some people have anemia, so they have to take iron, and you're also supposed to take B12, and you're supposed to take calcium, and sometimes omega-3s and various other things. So even though you might be less reliant on medications for medical reasons, as of high blood pressure and such, you will still have to take vitamins every day and these supplements. If you miss a day, it's not going to kill you, but you can't miss a lot of days. Because you have to take these vitamins and things, you can get dental problems and also bone problems, which is why it's important to make sure that your vitamin, mineral, and calcium levels are all right, and have blood work done generally twice a year. You will find that you have some foods that you have intolerance to, maybe some of your favorite foods. Some people afterwards have problem with beef. And of course, fatty foods, some people have problems with that. And of course, we're not supposed to eat any sugar. So you're going to definitely probably have an intolerance to that. These will all depend on the person in combination with the surgery. And these could possibly change over time. It is extremely, extremely more likely that if you have a food addiction, and if you're considering weight loss surgery, more than likely you have a food addiction, that you will turn to other addictions. Smoking, drinking, illegal drugs, gambling, shopping, sex addictions. These are all things that could happen to you. These are all things that you have to deal with the root cause of the problem as to why you have an addiction. Another reason to have a therapist or someone to talk to. You can have difficulty swallowing. This means swallowing large bites of food that aren't chewed properly, or swallowing large pills. You will have emotional cravings, or what is also referred to as head hunger, especially right after the surgeries. It will take a while for your body to adjust, and you might wake up and feel entirely hungry. You might wake up and feel completely turned off by the thought of food, or you might wake up and feel totally indifferent to food. It really just depends on the person. But you will still have emotional cravings. So let's say you have had the RNY surgery, and you know that you will have dumping syndrome if you have anything really fatty or sugary. Yet, even though you know this logically, you still want a Krispy Kreme's donut. And you know that if you eat it, you will still throw up or have diarrhea. This is something that you have to get around. You have to do something to take your mind off of it. That's why I said hobbies are a great thing. Okay, so another negative for some people are buying clothes. You're going to lose weight rapidly, and you're going to feel like you're spending a lot of money on clothes, where maybe you normally spent you spent $50, say, over 6 months for clothes. You might spend $50 in one trip. I recommend going to thrift stores and buying clothes there, especially on the days when they're having sales on, say, jeans or dress pants or something. All right, you're going to have excess skin. There's very few people that will not have excess skin. It depends on your age. It depends on the surgery. It depends on how much weight you lose. It depends on your collagen. It depends on your genetics. You will still have excess skin. The excess skin can cause you physical problems that might, you want to start exercising and stuff, and it might get in your way. And generally, people have skin surgery after a few years, or if they've lost the majority of their weight, and more than likely it's not going to be covered by insurance. So it's something that you need to plan for, either accepting the way it is with having loose skin and wearing it as a badge of honor that you have lost all that weight, or setting aside money to have weight loss skin surgeries in the future. So you're no longer going to be able to take NSAIDs, aspirins, Advils. There's a lot of arthritis medicine that has NSAIDs, and you're not going to be able to take it anymore, and you're going to have to find other things. And when you go to buy over-the-counter stuff, you're going to have to make sure that it doesn't have a list of things that you're not allowed to have anymore, because it can cause ulcers, it can cause corrosions, and you really don't want that. It is entirely possible to lose all your weight and regain a little bit or regain all of it. There's somewhere between, I think there's like an 80% success rate. That's an average, but for a lot, it can be a lot lower than that. This is entirely up to you. You're going to learn how to lose weight, and you're going to learn what to do, what to eat, how to exercise, and all that. And you have to keep that up forever. You don't have to exercise as hard. You don't have to eat exactly what the nutritionist or what you have to eat. You can, as the time goes on, you can add things back that you have been told no. Basically, you're going to have to eat the same way for the rest of your life, which is protein first, followed by everything else. You're going to have a change in your relationship with food. And this is going to be subtle. For some people, I think it's you're going to maybe get turned off by the thought of food, where maybe you love thinking about food all the time. This can be really good, because if you're turned off by food, then you're going to be less likely to eat food. With all the surgeries, you can get nausea and have vomiting from foods, from eating too much or eating the wrong foods. You can have reflux disease with all of them. That is, you will have heartburn. Severe heartburn can lead to serious complications, including esophageal cancer. Obviously, that's an extreme one, and the doctors will put you on medicine before, as soon as you have any problems. A lot of doctors will send you home with medicine to control acid. With all of them, you can get gallstones, you can get kidney stones. Some surgeons will go ahead and remove the gallbladder during the surgery, or within the first 6 months to a year, you'll have to go back and have your gallbladder removed because it's producing too many stones. You're going to get protein, calorie, and vitamin deficiencies. Supplements and vitamins are extremely important, but sometimes it's not going to cover everything, and you're going to have to start taking more pills or chews or vitamins or gummies or the various things like that. And that's just going to be something you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life. These are okay, so there's my list of negatives. These are not all horrible things, but these are things that anyone who's planning on having surgery or thinking about having surgery or being the support person for someone who's having surgery need to be aware of. Let's get ready for you to succeed in surgery. You need to have support in place before your surgery. Now, I would recommend this to be friends, family, and outside support, because you're going to want to talk to people who have been through the same things that you have or going through exactly the same thing. And you'll see a lot of people, especially on online groups, will have had the surgery the exact same day that you have the exact same surgery. Different hospital, different part of the country or world, but it's interesting to say, hey, I can't eat peanut butter now. Can you eat peanut butter? So just find support groups. If you live in a town where there's a hospital, there's possibly a bariatric support group there already. And if not, there are so many of them online, websites, Facebook, different social media platforms. You can find groups that you will find like-minded people. And with the online ones, you can do day or night. As of today, if you are really serious about going to have the surgery, here's what I recommend, and here's what I did personally. Start eating the way that you will have to after surgery. Start eating today. You can find lists of foods and recipes online by searching for bariatric surgery recipes, bariatric surgery, what can I eat after surgery? But here's what it boils down to. You're going to have to give up soda and all bubbly drinks because the gas from it will create problems with your pouch or sleeve. You're going to have to give up rice, bread, pasta, chips, all these basic carbs. It will only make you gain weight, flat out. And anything with that many carbs in it is going to make you hungrier. So if you're thinking, well, post-surgery I can have fruit, that's a really bad idea. Because fruit is fructose, which is sugar, and by eating sugar while you're trying to lose weight, all you're going to do is make losing weight harder, and you're going to feel like you're hungrier because sugar only provides so much energy in your body at a time. And once that energy has burned off, it wants more. So it's going to say, hey, let's go have some more food. All right. So cut down significantly on fruit for that reason, because it's just pure sugar. Different fruit has different amount of carbs. You can find that all online. Search for fruits have how many carbs, and you'll find various charts for that. You have to give up all fried foods. Fried food, very bad for your stomach, especially post-surgery, and it also helps you gain weight. Processed food, the middle of the store. Anything that's in a package, Stouffer's frozen meals or, whatever. These are all processed foods. That means somebody took a piece of chicken and they injected it with a bunch of sodium and flavorings to make it healthier, to make it taste better. And then they chopped it all up and they mixed it with some various things and they turned it into a pot pie, for example. That's all processed. Now, if you go to the store and you buy a chicken breast and you yourself put some salt on the outside and some seasonings on the outside and you chop it all up, that's not processed in the same way. It is more natural. It is more back to basics. Another thing that you're going to have to give up, at least for a small amount of time, depending on your doctor and everyone there, you're going to have to give up caffeine. There's two reasons for this. One, if you go into surgery and you're not going to be able to drink caffeine. They're not going to let you have caffeine that day. They're not going to let you have caffeine the whole time you're in the hospital. And if you're a caffeine person, you're going to be going through withdrawal. And that's going to make it so much harder for you to recover from surgery. Also, caffeine has been shown to make recovery harder. It makes it harder for your blood vessels to work and do what they need to do, as in healing wounds. So, give up caffeine, or at least start cutting back. If you drink a cup of coffee a day, make it half calf, half decaf. Slowly wean yourself down so that you have no caffeine. You can still drink coffee, it just has to be decaf. You can still drink tea, it just has to be decaf. Try to eat smaller portions. Now this might be hard and is not entirely necessary, but you will be eating much smaller portions. It's a good idea to get a food scale, so that you can start measuring out your food, because post-surgery you're only going to be able to eat 1 to 2 ounces of food at a time. The last thing of this part is start to listen to your body. Your body tells you when it's full. But we've all of us obese people have learned to ignore it completely because we want to keep eating. Post-surgery, your body will be more obvious about being full. Some of the things that can make you know that you're full post-surgery, just an FYI here, some people get the hiccups, some people their nose start running, some people they start sneezing. once you figure out what your trigger is, once your stopping point, that's your stopping signal. Once you figure that out, stop eating, because if you even have 1 or 2 more bites, you're going to be running to the bathroom to throw up. You also need to stop smoking. No nicotine. It is, once again, it's the same like as caffeine. You're going to be in withdrawal. They're not going to let you go out and have a cigarette when you're hooked up to an IV and everything. Probably not. And it's also bad for recovery. It makes it difficult for your body to do what it needs to do. At a lot of doctors, if you are test positive for nicotine on the day of your surgery, they will postpone the surgery. So just keep that in mind. Don't think you can trick people. Especially if they know that you smoke, they're going to probably test you. Another thing you need to do is plan how or if you will tell people about the surgery. At first, you're probably going to want to tell your friends and your family, your close friends and family. But eventually, once you start losing a significant amount of weight, people who only know you socially or at work, or, the people you're not exactly close to but know your name and know a little bit about you, are going to start to wonder what's going on. They're going to want to know, are you sick? One of the first signs of having cancer is losing weight. And a lot of people will assume, trust me, that you have cancer. Or, alternatively, that you become a drug addict. So, there are various ways to go about this. Some people completely say, I'm not going to tell anybody, and let people just assume what they want to assume. I personally decided to go with the truth of that I am eating less and exercising, because that is true. The fact that my stomach only holds a small amount of food now does not necessarily need to be told to everybody. On the other hand, I personally told the 2 biggest gossips in our neighborhood within 2 weeks of post-surgery. When I told them that I had had bariatric surgery. Within a couple of days, everyone in my neighborhood knew that I had had bariatric surgery. And I'm perfectly fine with it. Obviously, I have no problem telling people I had bariatric surgery. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. And I wouldn't link it to my Facebook page all the time with all my friends and family. Here's something that I think will help you with success, and has helped me with success. Think about what you want out of life. Make a list. What you want post-surgery. Do you want to have kids and you haven't been able to? Do you want to be there for your grandkids? Do you want to climb Mount Everest? Do you want to be able to go into, the Limited and buy clothes? Whatever the thing is important to you, make a list. Keep that list with you at all times. Have it on your phone. Have it on your computer. Have it on a piece of paper. Whatever works for you. And whenever you feel tempted or pressured into eating bad foods, look at that list and ask yourself, is a bag of chips more important than anything that I have on that list? Accepting that your life, your physical health, is more important than a chocolate cake or a bag of chips or pizza or whatever your personal trigger food is. And last, but 100% most important, and I would say this to anyone in the world who is thinking about having bariatric surgery. Okay, I wrote it down. Do the surgery for yourself. Not because your spouse wants it, your parent wants you to do it, your partner wants you to do it, your friends want you to do it, your doctor wants you to do it. If you do it because someone else wants you to do it, if you have this surgery because someone else wants you to have this surgery, you will fail at this surgery. Because none of those other people will be going through the surgery as you. They will not be able to help you make the right food decisions all the time, because no one is around everyone all the time. They will not be there in your head telling you that you don't have to eat that piece of cake. You are the only one who will do this. It is actually a proven statistic that people who have surgery for not their own reasons will fail, will regain the weight, and a lot of people will go up past what their previous weight was. You are the most important person in your life. You are the only one who will be able to reinforce all the things that I was talking about, and deal with all the negatives that come with any of these surgeries. You will also be the only person who will be able to experience all the positives in your life. Don't let anyone else make this decision for you. Don't let anyone else talk you out of having surgery or making this decision for yourself. It's not selfish. What's selfish is continuing the way you are if you know that you are not living the best life that you can for yourself, for your family, for your kids, for society, for anything. So, that concludes my extremely long video. I hope you found it interesting. If you have any questions, comments, anything else, please let me know. And I would really like to hear from people. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.